What's up guys? It's my geography channel once again, and this video is going to be about Kenya. So let's start. Kenya is a country in Eastern Africa, sometimes called the Horn of Africa, but not really. It borders 5 countries. It borders Tanzania to the south, Uganda to the west, South Sudan to the northwest, Ethiopia to the north, and Somalia to the east. Right here, the little small town of Mandera is in the Mandera County, and it shares a border with Somalia and Ethiopia. It's the closest town in Kenya that shares a border with Ethiopia and Somalia. Bulahalo is also another town in Somalia, and it shares a border with Kenya, and it's near Ethiopia as well. Here in Kenya, you can see the Dawa River. The Dawa River is a river flowing between Kenya, Ethiopia, and in Somalia. Mandera is actually the closest town to it. And Leflef is a village in Ethiopia, a very small village, right near the Dawa River and the border with Kenya and near Somalia. The capital of Kenya and largest city is Nairobi, right here. And Nairobi is there's also a county called Nairobi County because Nairobi has its own county. And we can actually see Nairobi in Google Earth too. We can see its buildings. We're in Nairobi. This is the main highway of Nairobi. Oh wait, let's go back up. This is the main highway of Nairobi. Nairobi kind of looks like Addis Ababa if you really look at it, because all the buildings are kind of the same. And over there it says Ruto for president. I don't know holidays in Kenya, but if I'm sure of it, I think they're having election day in Kenya. And Ruto is the president. That's the president of Kenya, the one that says Ruto for president. His full name is William Ruto. He's the president of Kenya. Before he was the president of Kenya, there was a different president called President Kenyatta, but I don't know what happened to him. But now we have William Ruto, a perfect president. He's the president of Kenya, and I think we're having an election. They're having an election. I don't know if it's today or it was a couple days ago, but yeah. Nairobi is the biggest city in Kenya because in most African countries, the capital is the biggest city. And then if you see, Kenya also borders Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is a lake in Africa, and it doesn't just border Kenya. Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya share the lake. It was back then it was kind of hard for them to decide because back then they were choosing who should take the lake, but then they just decided they should share it equally. As you can see, Uganda owns 45% of the lake, Kenya owns 6% of the lake, and Tanzania owns the other percentage of the lake. So Tanzania owns much of the lake too, but they all share the lake equally. Uganda uses the Lake Victoria more importantly because Uganda is landlocked, so it's hard to get goods from other countries by boat because they're landlocked between Kenya and Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So they really use Lake Victoria a lot, and Lake Albert, Uganda uses it as well. In Kenya, Lake Victoria is a lake, but Kenya doesn't own the whole entire lake. The real biggest lake in Kenya is Lake Turkana, and Lake Turkana is in Turkana County. And fun fact, Turkana County is actually the biggest county in Kenya. And this is Lake Turkana. It's the biggest lake in Kenya. And fun fact, Ethiopia also has the lake. Right here, this is the border between Kenya and Ethiopia. So you can see the Amharic. And Ethiopia doesn't own much of the lake. Kenya owns much of it since it's mostly in Kenya. But Ethiopia has a little bit of the lake, but they don't really use the lake as much. And over here, it's a little blurry. This is the Omo River. The Omo River flows into Lake Turkana. And then it flows all the way to Arba Mich, a small city in Ethiopia, and is also flowing into Ibaya Lake. The biggest county in Kenya is Turkana, and Turkana also sits right on Lake Turkana. Lake Turkana, the Kenyans use it and admire it, and there's lots of villages right near it, like Longalani, or Ilret, or Lamokiwi, Kadabo, Kaleloko. I'm not good at pronouncing, but anyway. Turkana County touches Uganda, South Sudan, and Ethiopia. And no, Kenya does not have the Nile River. Lots of people on TikTok have been thinking, does Kenya have the Nile? And every time you search Google always says, oh, people that share the Nile is Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, Eritrea, and Egypt. Some of them are right and some of them are wrong. Siri is wrong because she says the Nile River goes into Rwanda when the Nile River flows out of Lake Victoria, and Rwanda is southwest of Lake Victoria, and the Nile River goes up north Lake Victoria. So if it goes up north, how would it even reach Rwanda? That doesn't make any sense. Same for Burundi. And it doesn't touch Kenya either because it goes up north. See, no river here. This is not the Nile River. This is a different river. So, no, Kenya does not have the Nile River. The Nile River I'm just going to say this clear. The Nile River only goes into Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Egypt. That's it. It doesn't go into any other countries, even Eritrea. Anyway, in Kenya, there is a total of 47 counties. I can't name all the counties because that would be taking forever. But the biggest county in Kenya is Lake Turkana. And I can name some counties because I know all the counties, but I won't remember all of them. So there's Turkana County, there's Mandera County, and Mandera County touches Ethiopia and Somalia, and Turkana County touches Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda. And then there's the Garissa County, and Garissa County touches Somalia. And then there's Washington County, and right here, it borders Ethiopia and Somalia. And then there's Nairobi County, which is landlocked in the south. And then there's Kwahili County, which touches Tanzania. There's Narok County, which borders Tanzania also. Nakuru County is in the south, of course. And then Kanjambo County also touches Tanzania. Siaya County touches Uganda through Lake Victoria. And Marsabit County touches Ethiopia. Meru County is landlocked in the central. And I can name a few more. And there's Kisumu. No, that's not a county. Yeah, that's all the counties. Most of the counties in Kenya touch Ethiopia. Lots of counties also touch Tanzania, like Kwahili County, Kanjambo County, Narok County. But anyway, now we're going to talk about more. Here, this is Tana River. See, it says right here. Tana River is the longest river. We can ask Siri. It's the longest river in Kenya. Search it up. It's true. Tana River flows all the way from Tana County, and there's a county called Tana County River, and then in that county there's a river. It's called Tana River because it's named after the county. It goes all the way into Garissa County before entering into the Indian Ocean right here. This is Tana River, and then it flows all the way into the Indian Ocean. So yeah, and now we're going to talk about war. Kenya has had war with Somalia because they've been accusing each other and stuff like that. Somalia first accused Kenya, but then Kenya accused Somalia, and then they were at war. and then lots of stuff. They were fighting, and over here on the border, they made a little wall, so no Somalis can cross over the border because Kenya and Somalia agreed to make this border wall so no one can cross it. Even in Mandera County too. In Mandera County, that's where the most Somalis are because it's near the Somali border. So that's why Mandera isn't really safe. And in Kenya, the borders with Ethiopia and Somalia aren't really safe because lots of fighting goes over there. There's kidnapping, stealing, and mugging there too. But anyway, that's it for Kenya. I hope you've enjoyed this video. The next video is going to be about Uganda. Okay, bye!